Hey there, Convention of States state leaders. This is a training video on how to use the messaging tool in CitizenBuilder. So if you are not familiar, this is a really powerful tool. And I want to start by actually working through this document here on the email messaging tools best practices. If you want to know how to find this, you can go to our help desk at help.cosaction or help.conventionofstates.com. Either one will take you to the same place. And when you go to help.conventionofstates.com, that in the search bar there, you can do email. You can just type in email. There's a bunch of documents on email, but it's going to be the CitizenBuilder. Look for the CitizenBuilder ones that up at the top. And then the messaging tool is what you want to click on. And that's where this video is going to be. And then right below this video, there will be a link. It's not on here right yet, but there will be a link here on this page to this document, which kind of talks about, gives us some information about this tool. So I just want to run through this and explain a few of these things in a bit more detail, and then we're going to walk through the actual tool itself. So best practices for the CitizenBuilder email tool. First off, what is this tool for? Well, this is a tool for mass emailing. This is how a state leader or a district captain can reach out to the folks in their state or in their district. Now, this email tool will only send emails to people who are on our subscribe list. So we want to make sure that we're being careful with spam complaints and that we're respecting the wishes of our supporters. And so this is only going to email people who have opted into our email list. This is going to be used for state leaders and district captains, as I mentioned. And you should use this tool really whenever you're contacting groups of people or your entire state or your entire district if you're a district captain. So if you are sending out an email, for example, to all your district captains and state leaders, this is a great tool to use. If you are sending out an email to all of the volunteers in your district, this is a great tool to use. If you are sending out an email to people in a certain zip code or people in a couple districts or whatever, you have a lot of capability in this tool to filter, which I will talk about in a little bit. So it's very powerful and you can really select exactly who you want to send to. So that's how you can use that tool. Now, who has access to it? So district captains, they can send to district-wide plus to their state leaders, and then state leaders can send statewide. So anyone in their state, they can email through this tool as long as they're opted in. Okay, so I'm here at conventionofstates.com, and to access the messaging tool, first I'm going to need to log in. You can see I'm already logged in there. I can click on the dashboard here, second option when I hover over my picture. Okay, and then on the left-hand side, we have the messages tool. Okay, so we're going to click on that messages tool, and then we're going to go to manage email blasts. That's going to be our messaging tool. And the first thing we have here is we've got a couple tabs. We have a list of my, others, and without author. So this is just going to be three kind of categories broken down by the author of different email blasts. If you authored any email blast, whether they've been delivered or they're in draft or whatever form they're at, they would be listed here. And then under others, you get a list of everybody else who sent out emails. And you, like, for example, if you wanted to filter for your state, I'm in the state of Kentucky, I'll filter that, and I can just see the emails that have gone out of Kentucky. Now, what about if you wanted to create a new email? So that's that little blue button up here in the top right-hand corner. I click on that blue button, and it gives me this email editor. Now, the first thing that it allows me to do, I have here, is I have the ability to select who I want this to go to. Now, if I'm a district captain and I just want to send to my entire district and my state leaders, or if I'm a state leader and I want to send to just the entire state, all I got to do is check this little box where it's all people available to me. So this account is a state leader account in Kentucky, and you can see right away I get all of the folks that are opted into the email list from Kentucky. So I just click that. Now, if I uncheck that, it's going to give me 0. But if I check that, that'll give me everybody. Now, if I'm going to do an actual filter, it doesn't really matter whether that box is checked or unchecked. As a general rule, I don't know, it'd probably be easier just to check it every time. That makes it simple. Now, the criteria can get a little tricky. What happens when you click this criteria is you get a list of different categories, and then each category has several different options. And you can kind of see, like this first one is huge. It has all kinds of things. So there's a lot of options, and I'd encourage you kind of go through and play around with this and get familiar with it. Maybe get with your SIA in your state, and they can kind of walk you through some more of the different options and how they work. But for this video, I do want to show you a couple different criteria that will probably be most important. So let's start with if we wanted to filter for our volunteers. Now you can see here under person, there's two criteria: signed volunteer agreement and is volunteer. The signed volunteer agreement, that is actually the volunteer agreement for someone who accesses our data. It's the non-disclosure and legal form that they sign. And so that's not going to be what we're looking for. We're looking for the people who check the box that said, I want to get more involved. And that's the is volunteer criteria. So if you look, so I typed this in the box up here. Let me actually clear this out. I'm going to hit that X button. I'm going to show you from the beginning again. I'm going to add criteria. And what I did is I just typed in volunteer. And then I have this option for is volunteer. I can click on it. It creates that criteria. So now I have person is volunteer. And you can see my recipients have already updated. Now I've only got 1,500 instead of 11,000, whatever it was that I had before. Now this next section, so that's the recipient section. This next section is what's your message? Well, the first thing is the template. And for this one, you can see there's a bunch of legislative templates in here. And you'll look and you'll see there's a bunch of blank templates for each state. And what we're going to look for is we're going to look for the Kentucky, COSA Kentucky blank. You can see that puts that Kentucky header up in there, and then I can type in here and I can put whatever I want in that template. But I've also got the from name, which usually you could do this a lot of ways. You could do it from, like, if I wanted to do COS Kentucky, I could do that, or if I just wanted to put my name, I could put my name up in there, and then the subject, and then I've got my template. So I put in some test stuff in there. You can see here I can make stuff bold, I can make stuff italicized, I can change the margins, I can put in numbered lists and bullet lists and pictures. I can do an insert an image, add links, and then you've got merge tags too. These are really powerful. You can use these merge tags to use to put in different content. So there's again, if you go to help.cosaction.com, you type in merge, there's a list of merge tags here, MailChimp merge tags. Those are the ones that our templates use. And you can see these different tags and what they mean. Here, for example, one that people use a lot is the first name. So merge tag, you can see F name, that's going to be first name. So I can do that and put in a comma. And then I can, so that would be, whatever the person's name is, Bob, Joe, Sally, Mary, whatever it is, it'll put their name in there. And then I was like, thank you for, and I can put in information. Now in the comment section, I might want to comment to whoever's reviewing the email. Please check for spelling errors. This needs to be sent out next Friday around 9 a.m. So I can put in a note to the reviewer or any other comments that I want to put, and I can save that. All right, now once I've saved, now I can kind of see and view my email up here and see what it's like. I can look at the contents, the recipients again. There's no message statistics because I haven't sent it yet. And then I have this message review stuff. And what it asks me to do is it says, there's a couple check boxes. So the first one is, this email involves legislative activities or strategy and must be reviewed by our legislative department. Well, that's not true for this email, so I'm not going to check that box. I have reviewed this email with another person for formatting and content. So we really want you to make sure that you review your email with someone else. We all need help with proofreading. We all, don't catch our own mistakes. Like if I even go back and, review this one again, you can see I'm missing a lot of stuff. Like, what was I thinking? So I need someone to help review this with me. So if I got my wife or, someone else to look this over with me and check it off, then I can click that and say, okay, I've reviewed this with someone else for formatting and content. And then I need to please state one of the following. I certify this email does not contain any message that expresses support or opposition to any political party or candidate for public office. This email may contain a message that expresses support or opposition to a political party or candidate for office. Please review. So for this one, I'm going to click this box because mine doesn't say anything about a candidate for office. I just have some basic information on how to contact the legislators. And then I can click ready for review. Okay, and then once I've clicked ready for review, now you can see now I'm just waiting for the email to be reviewed and to be sent off. You can see I can bring it back to draft if I wanted to. That would put it back into the draft mode. I can click edit if I want to edit it. And then I also have the ability to send myself a test email to see what it will look like. So I can do any of those, or I could even delete it if I wanted to. Now going back to this document, the way that this is going to work soon is that emails under 500 will not have to go through that review process. But when it emails over 500, it will need to be reviewed. And so just a note on that, you're going to want to make sure that you plan ahead and you allow 24 hours for your email to be sent from the time of submission on weekdays. If you submit a message on Friday evenings or over the weekend, allow up to 72 hours. And then urgent emails, there's a number there that you can text for truly urgent emails. If you really have an issue, you can do that.